Today we're looking at the 9 significant differences between classical, music theatre and contemporary singing. Yes, 9. If you think learning to sing is a one-size-fits-all discipline, then this video is for you.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
G'day folks, welcome back to Voice Essentials where everybody sings. My name is Dr. Dan and I'm a contemporary singing voice specialist. I hope you noticed I specified my role with the term contemporary, and that's because I only deal with people who sing popular culture musics like rock, pop and country. Now occasionally I work with music theatre singers because I have some experience in that field also, but even then I recognise that my strengths lie in teaching the more contemporary forms of music theatre, for example rock musicals like Chess and Rent. Now if you've been watching my videos and following the Voice Essentials channel for any length of time, you will already know that I am a big believer in task-specific instruction for voice. That is, it is no longer acceptable to think that classical technique will adequately prepare a voice for the rigours of contemporary repertoire and performance. And this is where today's video comes in. I recently started reading this book, So You Want to Sing CCM, a guide for performers. Now CCM is the current, albeit in my humble opinion, inadequate acronym for contemporary commercial music. I was delighted, actually delighted is an understatement, I was ecstatic to find a chapter in this book by my friend and colleague Dr. Matthew Edwards titled CCM versus Music Theatre. Now Dr. Edwards breaks down a comparison not only between CCM and music theatre but also classical voice and performance. So using Dr. Edwards' 9 headings of training required, venue, amplified versus unamplified, vocal demands, language and text, acting and dance, persona and storytelling, other skills required, and representative universities and training programs, we are going to briefly explore the differences and similarities between the 3 distinct disciplines of classical, music theatre, and CCM. We talked about the training required for contemporary vocalists in a recent video here on the channel. Classical singers typically develop through undergraduate degrees followed by young artist programs. Classical singers also have access to many postgraduate options, unlike their music theatre colleagues who usually only study at the undergraduate level. The contemporary singer is still the poor cousin when it comes to education, with Dr. Edwards writing, there are approximately 23 degree programs in the United States for commercial singers. With so few options, it is very common to encounter working performers who have not come up through the traditional pathways of their classical and music theatre counterparts. One of the most significant differences when comparing the 3 disciplines is venue. Now, venues explicitly designed for classical voice performance are engineered to carry the acoustic voice, whereas music theatre and commercial venues generally require sound reinforcement. Now, music theatre venues can be small, intimate settings, seating audiences from 50 through to 1,000, but the contemporary singer can find themselves tucked into the corner of a cafe performing to 3 people, right through to standing on a stage in the middle of a stadium packed full of 100,000 screaming fans. Regardless of the venue size, contemporary vocalists are always amplified, and despite what you might think, so are most music theatre singers. But as Dr. Edwards points out, classical singers almost never perform with amplification. They take pride in their ability to project acoustically and consider it a hallmark of their art form. Now, you might be forgiven for thinking that the unamplified singing of the classical performer has higher vocal demands than the music theatre and commercial singer. But you'd be wrong. Each discipline has its challenges when it comes to the demands placed upon the voice. For example, the classical singer will often be given a night off between performances, whereas the music theatre singer may be required to sing multiple performances in a day, 5 to 6 days in a row. And the vocal demands placed upon the contemporary vocalists don't stop once they step off stage, with meet and greets before and after multiple set gigs lasting between 2 to 5 hours. The area that I think music theatre and commercial singers have it easier than classical singers is language and text. Generally, both music theatre and contemporary vocal performers need to work on their articulation and clarity of lyric, but they generally only have to do that in their native tongue. Classical singers need to sing in German, Italian and French, not to mention English, in order to have a full schedule. Each language has its own nuance and challenge. Personally, I'll stick to Australian. That was for my Aussie subscribers. If language is one of the most significant challenges facing classical singers, then being a triple threat is almost certainly the biggest challenge facing music theatre singers. If learning to sing isn't enough, music theatre performers need to develop competency in acting and dancing also. Yes, opera singers need to act and commercial singers need to be able to dance, but in both cases, the voice remains the primary focus. In music theatre, all three disciplines are on show. Music theatre performers need to be able to sing, dance, and act. Indeed, as Dr. Edwards suggests, many directors expect performers in music theatre to put primary focus on acting and secondary focus on voice. The skill of acting also interplays on the seventh heading, persona and storytelling. Both classical and music theatre singers are generally playing the character of another person on stage, whereas the contemporary vocalist is more often than not being themselves on stage. Now, this almost sounds like the contemporary singer gets off easy here, but learning to present an authentic and vulnerable persona on stage when that persona is you can be challenging and requires years of performance experience to master. The other skills required by all three disciplines include knowledge in audio, video, recording, and small business management. The classical singer does well to develop skills in stage combat, and the music theatre performer will benefit from being able to play an instrument like piano or guitar. The contemporary singer needs to develop the ability to self-promote using social media and platforms like YouTube, not to mention investing into the time-consuming art of songwriting. Dr. Edwards lists a range of representative universities and training programs as seen here. Of course, the unis shown are only in the States, so I encourage you to do your homework when searching for the right university for you in your local area. I hope that today's video has given you a good overview of the differences between the three different disciplines. Neither classical, music theatre or commercial singing has the right to claim superiority when it comes to the stylistic demands, and each one of the three has task-specific requirements when it comes to the skillful application of voice and performance. Now, if you want to learn more about any of the three disciplines individually, then I highly recommend investing in the So You Want to Sing book series published by the National Association of Teachers of Singing. I personally own 8 books from the series. I'll leave some affiliate links in the description section below to 3 of the books I think will be of most particular interest to all of us here at Voice Essentials. Until I see you again in the next Voice Essentials video, I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.